Yeah, so I just wanted to share this as I'm, in my nature spot, thinking, writing, and fighting off these raggedy mosquitoes. So the enemy, you feel me, of the land, the beast, their main tactic is divide and conquer, right? So it shouldn't surprise you why there's so much dysfunction, you feel me, and separation within the melanated American families. We need to understand that it's by their design that we got issues with our families and grudges and, issues that we don't even want to resolve because they're so triggering or so, just the divide and conquer is real. So when you know that, now you know that it's by design. So yeah, bro, I ain't gonna lie, I do not have no blood for these things, you feel me? So I'm finna get this message out and keep it moving, because they damn near trying to swarm me right now, and I'm swatting. But I say that to say, when you know this, you become one who risks a lot for the sake of, uniting and keeping the family together, because you know that this ain't how God designed us to be, and I'm just reflecting and realizing that, we have to start to forgive each other. You feel me? We've got to start having grace for each other, because this human experience is something else. And, it's not for us to hold grudges forever. That's where the whole Ma'at come into place. You have in your heart is light as a feather. So I just say have grace on yourself and others, man. Especially family members, like, forgive them for they know not what they do. Feel me? And that's a real thing. Like, sometimes, you feel me, whoever you might have an issue with, more than likely, they don't even know what they did, Now, if they do know what they did, then that's a different story. You feel me? Judge and hold your energy accordingly. But even in that case, forgive, just don't forget. Know how to move with them. You feel me? Know how to keep your distance and love from a distance. But don't let the enemy win by making you burn a bridge. You feel me? Because at the end of the day, God made us. You feel me? Most High, you feel me? Spirit made us in these groups called families. You feel me? For a reason. And, we're not here to play this game by ourselves. We're here to prosper with others. So yeah, man, just love with grace. Love with grace. Hey, so I ain't gonna lie, man. All it takes is one time for a mosquito to get me, and I'll be like, yeah, you got it, y'all got it. Feel me? I'm gonna relocate, or I'm gonna let y'all have the space, cause, man, I know that the enemy made this. I know these is artificial creations, but, I find myself in a space where I realize when I know something that someone else doesn't, it isn't that I want them to know what I know. It's that I want them to experience the results that I know. You feel me? I want them to experience another version of reality based off of what I know that exists. And sometimes it may cause me to come off a little bit more energetically, than people could, capacitate. And so I'm just learning that. I find this being the case when it comes to people younger than me, especially when it comes to the whole Generation Z, the Z babies. I've been through what a lot of y'all have been through, and I know that, there are certain things you could do to prevent yourself from certain experiences, but I also know that it took me to experience them to know those things. So with that being said, part of me is like, I be wanting to just pass you the game, but I have to realize that certain experiences you're meant to have so you can attain your own wisdom. And, but I will say that I will hold space for those to be able to come to understandings and reasonings on, things. So, yeah, like I said, I'm just learning how to have grace with myself too, because when you chosen, man, it's like, damn. it's like, damn, man, these 60 seconds ain't long enough to get the message out. But ultimately, it's really a dual-edged sword when it comes to being chosen, because you're the one that Most High chose to be informed on certain things. And you know, so on one end, it is for you to share that with others. But then on the other end, it is for you to be that and not worry about those who don't want to reap the benefits of of attaining information and learning from someone else. And it's like you kind of find yourself always being in a space where you can have the answer or solution for someone else, but if they don't ask for it, then it can offend them when you give it to them. And as a projector, an emotional projector at that, if you know anything about human design, I have to wait for permission, to be in someone's life, and that's tricky, man. I ain't gonna lie. That's learning these universal remedies, you feel me, that recalibrate your soul and your system, you feel me, and your psyche, like mudras, but also learning because there's some things you can't do, man, and as much as you feel a type of way, you just can't do nothing about it. You're not in control. So what you are in controlling is what you can do for your body, your emotional regulation. And, so I end this by saying, you feel me, learn about mudras and learn about the Om, you feel me, and start to include that in your lifestyle and your practice, especially when you feel your energy low, or when you feel yourself being tried, or where you just feel your energy is overwhelmed. Hit an Om, hit one of these mantras, you feel me, mudras. I promise you, this was a mudra way before it was a gang sign, you feel me, which this and this are two different things, you feel me. This is a mudra, you feel me, mudras, mudras, you feel me. This is a mudra, So just learning these things to learn how to regulate this is a mudra, you feel me, learning how to regulate, let these spiritual sciences alchemize your energy, you feel me, for the better. And if your people, you feel me, your loved one, whoever you may have conflict with, are open, to share this with, do that, because that's the whole thing. Now we're at a point where we have to now that we know better, we got to do better. So if the enemy's plan is divide and conquer, fuck that, you feel me. Our plan is to unite, you feel me. Our plan is to unite and liberate. So I end it like I say, have grace on yourself, have grace on your others, and we got this. Hey, this is the last message though, as far as with this whole little mode, this little, not rant, just this little download, upload, whatever the case. If you're in your late 20s, you feel me, or if you're entering your late 20s, I promise it will do you a great service to learn about the Saturn return phase of your life, the Saturn return, because the thing is, whether you believe it or not, you're going through it, because it has nothing to do with your belief. It has something to do with the age that you are, and the sciences and the astrologicals. Like, Saturn returns in your system every 20, it makes it cycle every 28, 29 years. And if you study what Saturn deals with, it deals with really like authority. It deals with like really like transforming life. So maturing. So it's like, if you don't learn these lessons, these 28 years, then you're going to have to wait a whole another 28 years and experience them again.